Hello there gorgeous gamers and welcome back to Pure Play TV, and we've got another review for you, and this time it's the Five Covens, which is out now on PS4 and playable on PS5 via backwards compatibility. The game will also get a release on Steam at some point in the future, but maybe it's better off not releasing any further than it already has. Yeah, it's one of those reviews. Let's get on with it. The Five Covens tries really hard to be a good game. Some nice platforming ideas combined with a few puzzle mechanics, and on paper, the Five Covens ticks a lot of boxes. In practice, it doesn't quite stick the landing. I had a hard time putting this review together, mostly because I don't want to sound too harsh. The Five Covens has its flaws, sure, but the Five Covens is also a game with a lot of good ideas, it just fails to use them. The game was developed over just 5 months as part of a university project, and unfortunately, it shows. The game is listed for $9.99, and for that price, there are far better, longer lasting games out there that offer much greater value and fun. You play as a witch named Brenda, imprisoned after being tricked into attending a meeting of the Five Covens. Spoiler, there was no meeting, it was a trick by the game's big baddie. This is the game's setup. You quickly escape your cell with the help of a friendly crow before you set off to escape and seek justice for your wrongful imprisonment. It's easy to see what the Five Covens is trying to achieve. There are some basic platforming sections, a few environmental puzzles, and an interesting potion mixing segment, which should have been used a bit more. It was one of the few highlights of this short game. Instead, frustrating platforming is the foundation on which the Five Covens is built upon, and them foundations are weak as hell. The clunky controls ruin the platforming with jumps that are often missed or difficult to judge because of the game's awful camera. Working through the game's 7 levels, you unlock new spells, one of which is the ability to slow down time, which does make the platforming sections a little bit less annoying, but you only get that ability after the second level. And guess what? The second level has the worst platforming of the entire game, and is where I sent Brenda to her death many times. Missing a jump and falling into water is instant death, because Brenda can't swim, and that level is full of water, and horrible jumps. Brenda has a few tricks up her sleeves, though no inflatable armbands. They would have been handy. From the start of the game, you can use your wand to push, pull, or even throw objects. This knockoff Wingardium Leviosa is used for the majority of all of the game's puzzles. Sometimes it's even used quite imaginatively, like with mixing potions. Mostly though, it's just used to shift boxes around so that you can activate switches or use them as steps to reach other areas, and it quickly loses its spell. Finally, a quick note about the game's length. It's short. Really short. In fact, it's one of the shortest games I've ever reviewed. There's even an achievement for completing the game in under 30 minutes, and I got this on my first playthrough without even trying. I then set myself a challenge to finish the game even faster, and I managed to finish in 20 minutes. It actually took longer to write this review, and even longer to put it together as a video. It is an easy platinum though, so it does have that going for it. If you care about digital doodads that show how mega good you are at gaming. I personally couldn't give a toot. If the Five Covens had been developed by a larger studio with more experience, money and time, it could have been a decent platformer. But it wasn't. It was put together by a bunch of inexperienced students, and the end product is reflective of that fact. For $9.99, you can get a lot more value for money elsewhere. While this has been a little bit harsh, but not unfair, I do hope that those involved with the game manage to take their learnings and maybe even expand on Brenda's magical world in the future. But if they do, it absolutely must take longer to finish than my morning coffee, because a tenner for 20 minutes of fun is only good value in one place. Amsterdam. If you don't get it, ask your dad or your creepy uncle. They'll tell you. And that is the end of this review. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you did, you know what to do. Go on down below, hit the like and subscribe buttons, bell icon too so that you get notified, and go on down to the description for the links to our social media channels, websites, and our supporters page where you can support our team if you can. I've been Chris, you've been gorgeous, and I'll see you next time. Until then, Bye bye.